Getting down with Osho lately, and I've actually been a late discoverer of the great guru, I would call him, because I'm two books deep into him, and he's impressed me greatly. So I'm going to keep listening to his audiobooks until I stop resonating. But just wanted to share with you actually, I will say, I was thinking about not sharing this, but I will share this. There's something great about, and even he says it as well, but I'll go into it. There's something great about living and learning yourself, right? I could have discovered Osho a long time ago and read his stuff and try to just reword and live his words that he teaches through his books. But there's somewhat of a parrot phenomena there, that you just start parroting his teachings. And even he talks about how reading isn't the be all and end all. It's good, but he says some people get lost into it and they're just vomiting, regurgitating other people's learnings. So I just thought that was an interesting thing, that, I'm happy that I've gone through my life experiences, and I'm now, after going through what I've gone through, now seeing how other people word what it is that I went through, and just learning different ways of communicating and the way people speak about their truth, right? Anyway, he has this great analogy of the river of life, and he says that the river always ends up meeting in the ocean, and the ocean is the be all and end all. It was this vast, great, big, pool of water, and it's just got everything there. Pretty much, you would say it's an enlightenment. So the river heads towards enlightenment, and it always gets to enlightenment. And he says that we start off in the river. Obviously, I'm paraphrasing here, so don't take it like the gospel, but we start off in the river, and we've got three options. Some of us swim against the tide, so we really work hard and try and muscle our way through life and go against the stream, because we're really stubborn, obviously. Some of us don't go against the tide, but we cling on to the shrubs at the bottom of the river, and we stay stagnant. We stay still. We're working against the tide. We still have to hang on to the shrubs and work against the tide that's trying to move us, but we're attached. We're attached, and we're not letting go. And then you got some of us that just let go and just go with the flow of the tide, go with the flow of nature. And there's bumps and bruises, and you hit rocks, and you fall off big water cliffs, and you keep moving forward. You're underwater, you're above water, you're enjoying sunshine, but you're also enjoying, the cuts and grazes of what it is to go through a river, right? But you're still in flow with nature, letting go, surrendering to the process of the river. And I just think it's amazing, that analogy. It sums up a lot, everything about life. Yeah, swimming against the tide, it's literally just being so fixed-minded, so stubborn. And you see this with people that have come out of a hole, have healed to some degree, maybe 60, 70, 80%, maybe even 90% they've healed. But they don't fully surrender, because they've healed enough to feel better than what they felt. But they stick to their guns and say, okay, I'm happy with where I am, I'm good enough. I'll just claw my way through life. And that's what I feel is swimming against the tide. It's like you're very stuck in your own ways, all the habits and routines that have served you to the point where you're at, they remain, and there's no budging. You're not going to change your routines and decisions and thought patterns because it's fear. It's out of fear that you don't change. You're not going to surrender because you must have had a fearful experience up until that point, and you just don't, you've surrendered as a kid, because naturally we all are surrendered as kids, and that didn't work, so you don't trust the process on a subconscious level. And then you got the people that are attached to their emotions, they're attached to the pain, they're attached to the thoughts that create their emotions, they're just attached to the physical plane, they're attached to the stories that the ego tells it about their emotions and the situations that they've been through. They're just attached to their own story and to themselves. And it's in that attachment that you also don't surrender. And you'll probably find that people who are attached are also into the flow of nature and how it all works, and they can connect the dots, and they like the sound of it, but they're just clinging on to whatever it is that they're clinging on to, whether it's themselves, the stories that they have in their head, the emotions that they've been, feeling. That's where people that can't forgive are hanging on to the shrubs at the bottom of the river. They're not trusting the process that forgiving and loving and bringing empathy to everybody that you've ever had an experience with in life is letting yourself go from the shrub and just letting the river take you. So something to contemplate, because if you let go and just enjoy the ride that the river gives you, the ups and downs, the bumps and bruises, everything about it, you eventually get to the ocean. You eventually get to the light. You eventually get to the enlightenment. But you definitely have to get out of your head to stop swimming the wrong way, and you most definitely have to detach from the pain and suffering you've had and experience the love in forgiveness and surrender and vulnerability. That's what I took away from his message.